Another profitable day on the books from our last video. I've got the juice on another 9 players in this upcoming slate. If that sounds interesting, let's get into it.
Y'all motherfuckers when they get some free tips, best bets, go ahead and flex some. Pick winners all the time, hit it on a daily. This is all free, you don't even have to pay me.
What's up, everyone? We had another winning day. With all the picks that won, actually came through quite easily. We didn't have to sweat too many of them. We did have a few bad beats, but we'll take our profits and run. A quick recap on yesterday. We wanted Kyle Kuzma over 36.5 PRA. He covered that with ease. John Collins over 21.5 points and rebounds. Easy. Alperen Sengun over 33.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Easy. And our last winner was Ivica Zubac over 8.5 points. I think he scored 15. Easy. Couple of bad beats. Christian Wood, we wanted 10 rebounds. He finished on 9. If you watch that game at the start of the fourth quarter, I think Reggie Bullock was awarded one of his rebounds, and that never got corrected. But, you know, we'll take the loss. LaMelo Ball, we needed over 8.5 assists. He did get injured. PJ Washington landed on top of him. And Miles Turner wanted over 17.5 points. That wasn't a bad beat. He was just absolutely terrible. I think he only took 4 shots. He shot 75%, didn't miss a 3-pointer, but he didn't even try to score. So, look, we'll take the winning day. We'll run with it. I've got another 9 picks for you to consider today. Now, all of these players have a great matchup and solid form heading into this one. Kicking it off with the first game, we're looking at Zach Lavine over 25.5 points. Your boy's averaged 29 points per game in his last 10. He's covered this line in 7 of those games. DeRozan is back. He has missed 3 games, although Zach covered this line in the last 3 games that DeRozan played. So just because DeRozan's there doesn't mean Zach's going to score less. Now, Lavine also lit up the Pistons for 43 points when they matched up earlier this season. The Pistons allow the 4th most points in the league to opposing shooting guards. Lavine's average shot attempts, they haven't been different with DeMar in or out. Something that I've noticed he has learned to do is get to the free throw line. So if he can get to the free throw line, take his average of 18 to 20 shots, I think he'll cover this 25.5 points easy. Now for the Detroit Pistons, we're taking Jaden Ivey over 4.5 assists. He's averaging 5 assists over his last 10 games, and he's covered this line in 7 of them. This is a home game where he does average more points, rebounds, and assists. He recorded 6 assists in his last matchup against Chicago, and the matchup is great. The Bulls also allow the most assists per game to opposing shooting guards. So take your boy Jaden Ivey over 4.5 assists. Next one is also within that same game. We're taking Isaiah Beef Stew over 7.5 rebounds. He's averaging 7.5 rebounds in his last 10 games. He's only covered this line in 4 out of those games, though. Bit of analysis. I think Jalen Duren will be tasked with defending Vucevic. That's going to take him away from the rim on defense, while Stewart will be matched up on Pat Williams in the short corner. So he'll be in a great rebounding position all night. He also racked up 10 rebounds against the Bulls earlier this season. The matchup is great as the Bulls allow the 3rd most rebounds to power forwards across the season, across the league. So like an Isaiah Stewart here. And this may not be a popular one, but when I see potential, I've got to take it. We're taking Steph Curry under 5.5 assists. He's averaging 6 assists in his last 10 games. He's covered this line at 50%. For the season, he's averaging 11 potential assists, resulting in 6.5 assists per game. Since returning from injury, though, he's only averaging 8 potential assists and 3 assists per game. On top of that, the Warriors are on the road for this game. They have been terrible on the road all season. Plus, Boston ranked number 1 in the league for the least assists allowed to point guards. This is close to my best bet of the day. So, loving Steph Curry under 5.5 assists. Our next pick, we're looking at Pascal Siakam over 5.5 assists. He's averaging 11.5 potential assists and 6.5 assists per game this season. He's covered this line in 6 of his last 10. The Timberwolves allow the 6th most assists per game to the center position this season. He's got great form against the Wolves. He tallied 9 and 13 assists in 2 games against them last season. Let's go, Pascal. We're also taking Scottie Barnes over 15.5 points. So hopefully Pascal can get the ball to Scottie and get these points and assists all in the same time. Scottie's averaging 17.5 points per game in his last 10. He's covered this at 60%. He's seen an increase in his shot attempts and points since Siakam has moved to the center spot. He only averaged 13 points per game against the Wolves last season, but he only averaged 9 attempts per game. More recently, over his last 4 games, he's averaging 15 shot attempts and 22 points per game. The Wolves also allow the most points in the league to opposing power forwards. Provided Scottie Barnes attempts close to 15 shots again, I can see him covering this line easily. Only one pick on the Brooklyn versus Phoenix game, and that's for my man Kyrie to go under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I've shared this pick before, and I hate fading one of my favorite players, but this line is absurd. He's covered this line 10 times this season out of 32 games. He's only averaging 28 points, rebounds, and assists since KD got injured. His lines are inflated because KD's not there, but I can't see an uplift in his performance in any area. So if anything, this means the Suns can send more double teams, they can trap Kyrie more often. I think this will also be his first game back from injury, and plus he doesn't have a great matchup with Phoenix typically doing a great job against point guards. So sorry to say Kyrie, but I think you're going under, my boy. 2 more picks to go, then we'll get out of here. The next one we're taking Jerami Grant over 18.5 points. He's averaging 20 points per game this season and in his last 10 games. Very consistent player. He's covering this line at 50% over his last 10. A lot of the times he'll finish just over 20 or just below. But in this game, he has a great matchup against the 76ers. They allow the 4th most points to power forwards this season. He's played 2 games against the 76ers, 14 points and 27 points. The key difference here is that 27 points, he scored that at home. So he's back at home again against the 76ers. They typically defend guards quite well, so Dame might not pop off. Simon should have a slower game, but the Blazers will lean on Grant to keep them competitive unless Dame happens to go off for 50. Our last play is also in the same game. We're taking the big man, Joel Embiid, over 32.5 points. He's averaging 35 points per game over his last 10. He's covering this line at 70%. Portland allows the 2nd most points in the league to the center position. In their last 5 games, the opposing center has covered their points line in every single one. Now, Portland plays somewhat strong defense against guards as well, so I expect Embiid to carry the 76ers once again. And I'm not touching any props from James Harden in this game. He broke my sweep the other day, so I'm not happy with him. But we're taking Joel Embiid over 32.5 points. We've just gone through 9 picks in under 9 minutes. So your boy's breezing through it. If you did like the video, click the like button. If you want to subscribe, please do. We're almost up to 400 subscribers. I would absolutely love it. If we can hit 400 subscribers by the time I make my next video tomorrow night, mission accomplished. So subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.
Y'all motherfuckers, when they get some free tips, best bets, go ahead and flex some. Pick winners all the time, hit it on a daily. This is all free, you don't even have to pay me.